Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, you folks, sampler video series videos I've been doing for a little while now, over there, trout food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This one might get a little bit kinky. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing all that, and afterwards, and, probably even after the camera stops for a little bit, I'm going to yammer out about it. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try to explain the experience that I'm having. I'm going to relay that to you so you can go over there and do that, what you want with that information. I'm going to stumble over my words every now and again. While I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. Whilst I'm inside my truck, I'm wearing, well, not a super cool shirt. I'm wearing a super grody work shirt. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means I was on my way home from work, and I found some shit to review for you. That's definitely the case today. So, folks, what are we trying? What am I doing for you? Why is it kinky? Well, folks, we're doing, boom! It's Rip It 3-Way Berry Mix. I don't know why Rip It's been doing this weird thing where it's like it's marketing and shit. But, they've done this thing lately with, some of their newer flavors, where it's like, like the pineapple one. I reviewed the pineapple one. They're like, it's YOLO. Okay. It's a bit 2012, isn't it? I don't know, maybe. But sure, why not? Go watch that review. I reviewed it. Then they had the Candy Man. I reviewed that one, too. Go watch that review. That one I had to actually punch into the can because the fucking tab broke, so you get to watch me stab at a can for about a minute or so. And now they got Rip It 3-Way, which is their berry mix. It's a little bit raunchy, I guess. I don't know if this is a new flavor or not. I don't keep up with Rip It very often, but every now and again I'll get one. So let's give it a go. This will be good. I just got off of work, so I can use a little boost of energy. I had to change out my cat box. Cat's over there, he's just like, I need a place to poop properly. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll get to it tomorrow. I was busy yesterday. Smells like a mix of berry and generic energy drink, which would be on point with what Rip It usually offers. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. So yeah, Rip It's been around for a while. They've never, at least where I'm at, they've never really been a huge force in the energy drink market, but they've been around for a while. They deserve credit for longevity, if nothing else. It might be just the nothing else, if I'm entirely honest with you. Because the problem that I run into with Rip It is that they're an older energy drink, and I'll commend them for trying to, update their flavors and stuff like that. But the problem is that fundamentally they're still working off a very kind of old and generic energy drink base. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, well, for one thing, you weren't around when I was. When energy drinks kind of first started coming out here in the United States, you kind of, for a little while, you basically just had your Red Bulls and then eventually your Monsters. And then for a while, you had this flood. Lots of companies were trying to, do their own thing with it. And most of them ended up with just this sort of generic kind of citrus, cheap tasting what the fuck ever. And they would just go over there and cram it full of caffeine and taurine and what the fuck ever, and then you'd be like, all right, it's an energy drink. Most of those have thankfully faded off. And even with some of the older ones, like your Red Bulls, like your Monsters, they have gone over there and really built away from that. Even though, the standard green Monster is it's somewhat close to that, they obviously have a huge variety of flavors these days. Red Bull, they have a lot of flavors. So it's they've tried to kind of do their own thing. Now, the thing with Rip It is, again, I think that they do deserve credit for coming out with new flavors and continuing. But when it comes to their core flavor, it shows their age, because the way that their energy drinks taste as like a baseline is not what more modern energy drinks taste like your Bangs, your Reigns, what have you. They've moved away from that. Rip It still has that, and it's still evident, and then they just build on top of it. And so with this particular drink, it has like a berry flavor to it, and it's, it's fine. It's a little bit sweet, a little bit tart. I would say maybe kind of, I'm sure it's just a generic berry blend. Closest berries, I would say, I think on this, looks like a blueberry, a strawberry, and then, I don't know, that looks like a mulberry. Mulberry? I don't know. The blueberry, I can definitely get. I'm not getting a lot in the way of strawberry. And then I would say maybe like a raspberry, just for that little tanginess. But it's not bad for what it is. I want to emphasize that. It's not horrible or anything. But because it is working off that very old style energy drink base, it really does limit how much enjoyment I can get from it. Because when I drink that and I taste that, it harkens back to those old, darker days of energy drinks where it's like most of them didn't taste very good, And that's why most of them didn't fucking last, because it's like they just tasted like fucking you were drinking an ashtray. So it's not bad. The berry flavor aspect of it is decent, but at the same time, I wouldn't consider it spectacular. It's a little bit shallow of a flavor. It doesn't emphasize itself to the extent that I would like, but it's there, and there's a little complexity to it. It doesn't just taste like one berry flavor. There's clearly a blend. But again, the problem is you're building off such a low plateau. That's the fundamental issue I have with Rip It, is that you're building, if you think about it like from a structural standpoint, right? If you're over there and you've got, your foundation, right, your ground level, that's what you want to build off of. And you want to have a strong foundation. That's what you want to. With Rip It, they're not even starting at the foundation. They're going over there and starting like 3 levels below that. But it's not like a good, extra big basement with a live-in center. It's like, no. This is like you kind of built on top of like an Indian burial ground, and now you're trying to, build your empire. There's stuff to be said about that analogy. But it's not a great base to build off of. So no matter what you do with it, it's just never going to taste that great. But 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No and no. It's not a bad flavor of Rip It. I don't mind it for what it is. But the combination of it, again, just having that generic sort of cheap tasting energy drink blend, and then just a somewhat generic berry blend, because berry is a very cheap way to kind of get away with just like, it's just what the fuck ever. It's an easy flavor to get away with, even if I do give them a certain amount of credit for having a little complexity there. It's nothing spectacular. That's the thing. It gives you a little hint of something good, but it doesn't follow through. And it just ultimately, it's got a little sweetness, a little tartness. There's no funky aftertaste or anything, but you do definitely taste that generic energy drink kind of baseline. And it's not an energy drink I personally need to go back to. As for recommending it, no, man. I don't want to go over there and seem like I'm shitting on Rip It, because I'm sure Rip It has its fans, and I'm sure that there's good people working there and stuff. Strictly for me, it's not an energy drink that I could recommend. I feel like we have moved so much further past that line of energy drinks. If this energy drink, if we were talking about 15 years ago, yeah, I'd be down with it. It'd be like one of the better tasting energy drinks on the market at that point in time. But we're not. We're in 2023. And it seems like every year we're coming out with more and more energy drink options. The old ones, I mean, again, I'll give them credit. They're still trying. They're still putting out, new flavors and stuff. But I just feel like the old guard, man, like, they really have to push it if they want to, keep standing out. And with Rip It, I mean, they've got their little piece of the market. Good on them. I just personally wish that their stuff tasted better. But that's just me. Final 5 things for you, folks. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly 3-way-tastic rest of your life. Oh, yes, what with the menage a trois implication and such. That's going to be the name of my new indie band, Menage a Trois Implication. Fuck yeah, we're doing it. 2 final things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do can't do all the time. I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Okay, trust me. I know it's not. I try to be a pretty decent guy. I try to be very chill in my life. But at the same time, it's not always going to work that way. Life can be stressful and frustrating, When we run into those situations, it's important we go over there, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholeness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there, maybe you're going to try yourself out all the many Rip It flavors that have ever existed and come and gone and all that. I don't even know if Rip It retires flavors. I genuinely couldn't tell you. But maybe you're going to try them all, and maybe once you do, you will achieve ultimate power in the universe. Maybe that's been the secret of Rip It all along. So you're going to become one with the universe. It's going to become a whole sort of like Galactus thing where, it's like a thing, and then you'll have like heralds, and, but like maybe you don't eat planets. I don't know. It depends. I'm not sure how the whole intergalactic oneness thing really works. It's not exactly my jam. But, then you go over there and have to fight against different spacefaring empires and stuff, and then eventually the world collapses in on itself, and you'll be the last remaining thing of the previous universe and the first thing of the next universe. That's how Galactus came into being, by the way, if you didn't know that. He was the last remaining being of the previous universe that existed before the main Marvel universe, and when that shit came together, he was the first thing to come out into our universe, or well, the Marvel universe. Nerd facts! Or conversely, maybe just read some comic books. Comic books are good, and they, as popular as the movies and stuff are, it's important we remember they come from books. Books! Bye.